spill blood on the walls, then play tennis with your balls. If the phone rings, don't answer that call.
Good morning, everybody! Welcome to the Daily Hotpot. I am your co-host, Drift, aka Robbie.
And I am Khan. Good morning, everyone.
Morning, everyone. Happy Wednesday. And today we got a very special episode. Like I say for every episode.
Really? Okay. What's today's episode about?
Today's topic is covering all things paranormal. And
Paranormal? Like
oh, yeah.
E.T.? Ghosts? Things like that?
Yeah. We got all the UF flippin' O's and ghost hunters and all things paranormal. The freaky deaky and the unusual. Khan, what is your experience with the paranormal?
Did you guys know that I've been haunted my whole life? Just kidding. Or am I? But anyways, yeah, pretty interesting. I don't know how I feel about aliens and UFOs and all that, but there are definitely stories about ghosts, or at least finding ghosts.
Do you
But first, let's talk about aliens. Drift, do you believe in aliens? Do you believe in life outside of Earth?
So I do. Because if we believe in scientific theory of the universe, I just feel like it is impossible that we are the only instance in the universe's infinite space that we are the only living sentient beings. Now, of course, the thing that always get people is like, oh, you think like the little freaking blue-green people with the bug old eyes? No, I just mean there's life, even possibly, and actually in a real sense, I think there's even life in forms that we just don't understand. Because we always base life on how we understand carbon-based beings. But there could be life out there who frickin' smokes nitrogen and is completely made up of frickin' PIM particles from fucking Marvel, and we don't know. But that's life in that sort of instance. I really don't think in the scientific basis of the universe that we are the only living thing. So I do believe in aliens in that sense, but I don't think I'm particularly a believer or supporter in little green people. And yeah,
I agree too. I also agree there's probably life out there. I definitely don't think there's like advanced life that has visited Earth before in little UFOs. You know why?
Why, boy?
I think me and you, we have played StarCraft enough, right, in our life.
Yes.
To the point where, you know what? If the scout discovered a whole planet full of wonderful resources, you know, the RTS gamer in us, guaranteed, we're taking that over. We would 100% colonize Earth, for sure.
Oh, yeah. We would construct additional pylons.
That's personally why I don't really believe we've been visited by UFOs and stuff like that before.
Yeah, I just... like, even in quote-unquote unintelligent, or at least to our intelligence capabilities, even on, like, animals and stuff, they're even territorial and understanding of resources. You're telling me an even more advanced species hasn't just come to Earth and go like, hey, look at those primitive bastards. Well, they're ours. Or they're gone. We'll get them out of here. Yeah, I agree. I agree. I
think the more interesting thing to talk about would be like, would an advanced life form care or need the resources that we have? And I think at least for mainstream depiction or visual of aliens would be like the humanoids with quote unquote human-like personalities. If those existed, yeah, we're dead, bro. We're gonzos.
We're so dead. We're so at the bottom of the totem pole. It's not even funny. But yeah, as life as I think exists outside of ourselves, I just think any life that exists like us probably doesn't exist, and it exists in its own isolated way that life forms in that sense, and they just wouldn't even be on our radar of consciousness. Like, we wouldn't be on the same wavelength at all. I don't even think
it would be cool to it is cool to imagine what these life forms will look like or how they would interact with their environments. I remember a couple of months ago, I think it was like an Apple TV show where they kind of did the whole Walking with Dinosaurs type documentary, but with aliens on a life form. And I thought it was actually pretty interesting. Nothing too crazy, but, you know, seeing like how we can imagine alien squids or alien life forms on other planets, how they would interact with their life form, what kind of food, quote unquote, nutrients they would take.
Huh. Did
I think
they?
that's really cool.
That's super cool. What was this again? You said on
It was, unfortunately, I don't remember the name, but it
Damn.
was definitely aliens.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. It's so interesting because I remember watching this because a YouTube video long ago. I can't credit the channel. I'm sorry. I'll definitely probably find it after. We'll put it in the link dump. I think that's definitely
Down
something I'm
below.
gonna start. Yeah, down below. With this whole new website and thing, we could always do like a per episode dump of links of like things we talked about, and so people can
Great
always go
idea.
to them. Anyways, there's this thing I saw where the scientist was discussing if there is an existence of fourth dimensional beings and what the fourth dimension would look like to us. And there was a layman's way he described it on how like incomprehensible the fourth dimension is, and he broke it like this. So, if we break dimensions, there's a single point on a graph. That's a single point. 2 points make a line. Okay, we're moving up dimensionally. 4 lines make a square. Okay, that's a 2-dimensional shape, a square. Okay, now a cube, which is 3 dimensions, is made up of 6 squares. If you think about it that way.
Right.
So if we move up dimensionally, 3 dimensions, 6 squares. If we keep moving up, a technical, mathematical, theoretical comprehension of a 4th dimensional cube is every single side of that cube, whatever the number is. Let's say we move up in 3, let's say it's 9 or 12. It is a 12-sided shape where every side is a 3-dimensional cube. And you're trying to like comprehend what that is, but that is a technical mathematical description of a 4th dimensional shape.
Yeah, that is above my brain scale, I'll be honest.
That is above mine too, but just even describing it that way, I was like, okay, so you're telling me if a being existed in the 4th dimension, it is as incomprehensible as H.P. Lovecraft would undescribably describe an eldritch being. It's just like, you can't. There's just no fathomable way to summate the words.
No, it sounds crazy. Honestly, I can't even picture it. I was trying to picture in my head, okay, a cube facing a cube, and I was like, no, this makes no sense.
Yeah, it's sensically nonsensical, and I think it's so interesting. Yeah.
Going back though, the show is called it's a Netflix show called Alien Worlds.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Yeah, it's a good background show.
Is each episode like a new alien civilization in a different context?
Yeah, I think it's like a different planet each episode.
Oh, that's super sick. Okay, cool. That's on the list of background documentary stuff to just put in and be like, oh, cool. You look up every once in a while and go like, oh, sick. So we covered UFOs and aliens. I think we got a pretty good understanding of our stances on it. But as for the other side of Paranormal Con, how's your experience with ghosts and spirits?
Yeah. So first off, do I believe in ghosts? No.
Okay.
Short answer. To be fair, I don't really also believe in like the afterlife also.
Okay.
So connecting the two has never happened with me. However, as a kid in high school, my friends and I would definitely go on like these little trips where we would go and search for, it's like pretty much pre-Ghost Hunter, the TV show.
Right.
Bunch of kids running around in like abandoned places, abandoned train tracks to try to find quote unquote ghosts or a quote unquote mysterious place. Back then, at least in New Jersey, there was this magazine called Weird NJ, where it was just a magazine with places in New Jersey where there might be interesting or freakish or paranormal activities.
Oh.
So yeah, for like a good few months, I think every couple weekends we would like, my friends and I, like a group of 4, would just go out and one night and just do one activity or one location. There's like a couple that kind of came in mind. One, apparently in New Jersey, there was a village, like a little suburban town for small people, right?
Okay.
So back then, kids were not so kind or politically correct towards
not at all
little people, right? So we would like go out and be like, okay, we're trying to find this place, and it does exist. It is a gated community apparently.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And they do not like people visiting for the very reason, understandably, they did not like people
100%.
Yeah, I forget what the town is called, but it was like one of the weird NJ spots to visit. There were like also like abandoned insane asylums, train tracks that we would go to. Yeah, so we would bring our cameras, we would bring our little camcorders to do some recording. I think one time we stopped because we were crossing a field. Unfortunately, we just got bombarded with ticks.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah, and so after that, we're like, you know what? Maybe we should stop. And I believe one of my closest friends which we'll talk about later on. I think he got like Lyme disease or something.
Oh my God! Wait.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if it's from that tick in particular, but I don't. I'll ask him, and then we'll bring it back on a different episode to talk
Okay.
about.
Yeah, for sure. Follow up definitely on that.
Yeah. So shortly after that, okay, we're done with our little trips.
And during those trips, you guys didn't, besides like the natural, like,
I mean, it was like scary as shit, right? So
Right,
it's like, it's like midnight, 2 a.m., total darkness, and we're going to a supposedly like scary haunted place. So anything will spook you. And in a kind of way, we wanted to be spooked, right? That was like the whole point. We wanted to be scared.
mm,
So anything and everything scared you, but like in a good way.
it's like a thrill seeking, really. I mean, obviously, as teenagers, you're thrill seeking.
Yeah. And I found out that day, I would leave some friends behind, apparently. Apparently, I was like, you know what? Survival of the fitness, guys. No. You know what? Bye.
That's so. Look, you learn a lot about yourself. Besides being
you do.
Besides being in like actual life or death situations, even just doing like the teenage ghost hunting, or God forbid, being in one of those being in one of those like you have to sign a contract or a waiver, those waiver haunted houses during Halloweens, where it's like those extra dangerous ones. Like, you find out real quickly which one of your friends are gonna stick together or which ones are gonna leave you for dead in any of these situations.
Yeah.
It's
like in our heads, we're probably like, yeah, our friends will stand up for them. But I've come to realize I may or may not put myself first.
Look, that's a fight or flight response, and look, you chose to save your life over.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. It's just instincts, guy. Don't judge me.
Yeah, no judgment, not at all. Yeah, for me, I think even now, especially being Filipino, like I was raised Catholic. I know there's a big religious division. I'm not gonna get into religion, but like Christian Catholic in my freaking church that they taught us, like, which went through the whole ladder. I got like confirmed through my church and everything. I went through the whole youth program. They were basically just talking about like, yeah, Christianity, Catholic, even though we have our differences, we still have this oneness with each other, blah blah blah. So I really don't know the fundamental difference between either. I'm gonna be honest with you, even being taught through my own religious schooling, but.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, I went through that whole confirmation process. I'm really still technically an atheist, but maybe like as I grew older, maybe just like spiritually agnostic. Does that make sense? Like,
no, I think I'm the same way. I'm pretty agnostic.
Yeah, like logically my brain goes, okay, but like spiritually, just for the soul, just for like the mental assuredness, like, you know what, there is a God out there and I live after when I die, all power to you.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not acknowledging it as God or whichever religion you but you know what? Awesome. That reminds me of one of my favorite Community jokes where if you guys watch Community's an amazing show, funny show. But the main character, Jeff, talks to his friends and they're like, oh yeah, they're asking Jeff, yo, what religion are you? And he goes, I'm agnostic. And then the oldest guy in the group, Pierce, goes, agnostic? Yeah. Ugh, that's just the poor man's atheist. So I also like to call it non-committal atheist. But yeah, anyways.
For those with commitment issues. Perfect.
Atheists with commitment issues. We love it. Yes. Put it on a t-shirt. But yeah, I grew up that way. So I grew up kind of spiritual and, religion believes in ghosts and the afterlife. And it didn't help that while going through that schooling, me and my sister, loved watching ghost hunters as a kid. Oh yeah, she loved the hell of it.
My friends did too, so I get it.
She loved watching it. And, I made a lot of mistakes as a kid, especially with like thinking I can hang with my older siblings watching horror movies. And that did not help either. I grew up watching The Ring and The Grudge. The Grudge, but but not the American version, the Japanese versions.
Yeah.
So it's worse. I apologize, I'm forgetting the Japanese titles and the way you say it, but watching those growing up fucked me up as a kid. I mean, like, I had terrible night terrors. I couldn't sleep. So I shared a room with my brother for the longest time in my life, and I just couldn't sleep for the longest time. I'd often as a kid have to go to my parents' bed because I couldn't dream. Yeah, it was bad. So
that's adorable.
It's
I would just make fun of you the entire time.
Don't get me wrong, it's payback for killing that chicken last episode. Anyways, so I think
the fucking chicken haunted your dreams, bro.
Honestly, it's payback. So my sister would have me. She'd pick me up after school on Wednesdays. When I had early bird or early leave on Wednesdays in elementary school. She'd pick me up. I didn't live too far from my elementary school. She'd bring me back home, and to kill the time, instead of doing homework, like a good older sister, she'd let me watch TV with her, and we'd watch 3 shows. We'd watch One Tree Hill. Got to One Tree Hill.
Of course. Shout out.
We'd watch Bones, and we'd watch Ghost
shout
Hunters.
out, yeah.
Shout out Bones, right?
Yeah, I agree.
And we watched Ghost Hunters. And Ghost Hunters, we were just super into. And it didn't help that, if you guys don't know, where I live, I am the oldest house on the street. The street historically was owned by the owner of the street. And you're like, okay, whatever. Old house, you're probably thinking, built in the 1980s. No. Not 90s, 80s, 70s. This house in the street, it was built in the 1920s and still stands. And we moved into this home in the, by golly, probably the late 70s. And obviously it's been through a lot of renovations, but the house is old. It is old. And that didn't help how creepy our house was watching these shows. And obviously me already having night terrors from watching horror movies. So I had a lot of, albeit probably mind manifested ghost stories and horrors as a kid. So long story short, I have a belief in it, even in my adulthood, because in my agnostic belief, I also am just like, you know what? I think I believe in ghosts too. And maybe the world's a slightly magical and more terrifying place because of it. So, yeah, I have a belief in it. That's why, even though you yourself, you went in these whole, like, you know, thrill-seeking ghost adventures. I always talked about wanting to do it in high school. Never had the balls. Never had the balls.
You should. Or rather, if you do, take me with you. Just for my entertainment, you know? Let's go on a little haunted tour trip, you know?
You know what's even worse than doing that in America? What if on our Vietnam-Philippine trip, we go to haunted places
in
Asia?
No. Hell no. That shit would be real.
That's real as fuck, right? Now all of a sudden you're back in the motherland. All of a sudden it's like, wait, hold on now.
We're going to be in an alley just around the corner. We're going to see a little figure.
Oh, fuck, man.
It's going to say, "Bark, bark, bitch, I'm back." You remember me, Drift? Bark, bark, motherfucker.
Oh my god, dude, the terrors. I was just like, yeah, all that fucking chicken joy you've been eating, motherfucker, I'm back. Oh, jeez. Yeah. I mean, for most California homes especially, I know this seems like a left field, but this adds to the ghost thing. I think most California homes, we don't have, like, attics and stuff. At least, like, you know, newer buildings don't have attics because, you know, we're earthquake country. So we don't want to be a top-heavy building, especially. I don't know if that's actual, you know, legal, like, structure code and everything in California. That's just been my observation, especially in the Bay Area.
Sense.
But
that makes sense.
Our house is old, built in 1920. So guess what? We have a fucking attic. And our attic is old. And what made it even worse for my sister, and why I guess that ghost paranormal belief transferred onto me, was because my room with my brother is in the middle of the house, in the middle hallway. Perfectly fine, you know. I have my own night terrors. I'm haunted by my own demons, whatever. My sister is all the way at the end of the hallway next to the bathroom. Okay, whatever. The reason why it sucks is because her room is the only, and I mean it when I say only, the only access to the attic in the house. It's just the enter her room, and to the right is just open room, but to the left, at the other corner, is the one door to the attic. And not only that, but my late Lolo, rest in peace, who passed away, I think, a year after I was born. That was his room. So sister, my sister.
Fucking stories this week, man.
Yeah. Look, I'm telling you, my sister told me this one story. So it's not mine, because I don't think I've genuinely had any true paranormal story that wasn't, like, you know, like mind manifested as a child with night terrors. But my sister swears on to the Lord himself that one of the times that she was in her room, this was back maybe when I was in elementary school, when we just got our dog Toby. Probably 2007, 2008. And she was working at her desk, which, funny enough, I am at right now, right in the same position where this desk has been all my life. And this desk, she was working at it, probably doing homework or something. And she swears that while she was working on it, she just heard that someone called her name behind her. And
hell no.
It was a male voice. So she assumed it was her dad.
Hell no.
And she's like, huh? And then she looked over, nothing there. And she's like, huh? So she walks out to the hallway, and then she walks out to the kitchen and sees my mom there. And she goes, oh, did he call me at all? Does he need something? And Ma says, no, Pa hasn't come home from work yet. And neither me or my brother were home. We were at, like, practice. My brother's at baseball practice. I think I was at YMCA. And and my sister, literally, she, like, just describes, like, it's like, as soon as Ma said that, I had, like, the shiver, like the cold shiver of fear, like wreathed down from her, like her neck all the way down to like her spine. And it was just like, she just like froze. And she like swears that like, she recalls now, she's like, oh, it might have been Lolo's voice, you know, you were too young to hear it. But yeah, that was the one time that she had like a paranormal moment where she swears like on her life that was like the realest moment she's ever had. I've never had, could I say pleasure, displeasure? I didn't have ever the real occurrence of that, but you know, I trust my sister. I believe her, whether, you know, it's real or not. And that shit's scary. That shit's, oh, hell no moment.
It's definitely stuff like that that kind of makes you a believer. I've also never experienced it. So, you know, maybe one day me and you will turn into true ghost believers.
Look, guys, for a future episode of the pod, we're going to take you on a live episode where we're going to go to a haunted asylum in the United States, abandoned asylum. Where you know what we could do? We could go to Alcatraz, do one of those night stay tours where you can sleep over.
I was gonna do one of those actually last year.
I wonder if they still do them. I haven't done those. I only did it once when I was a kid, which terrified the hell out of me. But also, it was hella young, so I don't really have a particular memory of it.
I think they did something for Halloween that I was curious about.
Well, guys, that's a future pod. Definitely, for sure. A follow-up to our stay at Alcatraz. All right. Well, we're nearing that time once again, Khan. Do you have anything else for the people about UFOs or paranormal activity? Not the movie.
No, but I think everyone should look forward to our live vlog where we go on a haunted house tour with Drift Khuon.
Oh, yeah. We'll even do a community poll to see which haunted place in America we'll go to. But
yes,
yeah,
we'll go to a haunted chicken farm, right?
Yep, haunted chicken farm, and I'll fend off all the demons of the chicken joys I enjoyed in my life.
Bok bok, bitches.
And with that being said, thank you guys so much for watching this episode of the Daily Hotpot, and as always, take it easy.
Bye.